Hello, guys. Welcome back to Yes Academy podcast. And with me here, our beloved Mr. Phang.
Hi.
And surprise, surprise, we have a special guest here today, our Darren Lee, who has been a trainer for the past 15 years, trained thousands of students, and today he's going to share his tons of knowledge, tons of experience with us. So we are so fortunate today.
Hi, thank you, Leo. Thank you, Mr. Pang, for inviting me.
Hi, Darren. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What have you been busy with?
No, as usual for the year end, right? So we need to do a lot of training for our business partner to complete the requirement when it come into the requirement for it to complete the training hours.
Yes, since you are our invited guest for this episode, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay. Hi, my name is Darren Lee. So just now, as mentioned as Leo, I'm in the learning development for more than for 15 years now. So basically, my audience is very much on the insurance industry and the financial industry. So my focus is very much on sales, on the salesperson, right? So at the same time, also I'm a licensed NLP coach. So I do coach sales leaders. And currently, I'm also venture into a hypnotherapist business.
What do you by hypnotherapist?
So basically, using hypnosis, right, to help the client to change the behavior, right, or to achieve or to unblock some mental block that they have.
Oh.
Yeah, that's something something that we use hypnosis, right? So we help our client move into a trance state, right? So in that state, we can do a resourceful suggestion to the client, so to assist them to move towards the direction they want to move.
Interesting. So let's start off, Leo. The first question you would like to ask our guest for today.
Wow. Actually, you asked the question that I wanted to ask hypnosis. Because when I talk about hypnosis, I actually talk about something, going to some state.
Yeah.
So I think let's put it this way. In so many years of training, what is the most common questions that people ask you, the especially coming to sales and marketing part?
The most question that the participant will ask, right, when it comes to sales is, of course, it depends on the audience, right? So when it comes into the participant who just join the industry, right? So they always ask about how do you want to kickstart a business, right? That's one of it. Secondly, if let's say we have more senior participant, they always ask this question on how do they want to continue, right, to be in the business. I think that is the question that I always ask, right? So now I've succeeded my first year and second year, right? So how do I want to move into many years more? So how to be sustainable in the business?
Okay, interesting. In that sense, how would you, okay, before that, before that, to be an entrepreneur, I believe that resilience is important, right? Resilience is important. So can you help us to define what actually resilience means?
Resilience means so that's my own definition, right? So resilience means when things get hard, right? When the things doesn't go based on what our expectation, right? So how do we react, right? So resilience meaning we keep moving forwards, right? So trust that things will get better as long as we move forward, right? So how do we bounce back when the things go south, the thing doesn't move according to what our expectation is? That is, for me, that is resilience.
Okay. And I believe that as entrepreneurs, we do face a lot of these challenges that can force the entrepreneurs to just give up like that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I believe for Leo, right? So Leo also in the business for very long, for I think 10 years now, right?
Yeah.
So I just interested to know from Leo. So Leo, what resilience means to you in your own
Wow, this is actually a big one. I would say that I would say that in business you face all kinds of challenges that you never thought of, especially when you started. And most of the time, you overestimate what you can do in 1 to 2 years time, and you underestimate what you have done in 3 to 5 years time. It's always like that. You always think you're always too optimistic in the first 2 years, but you're always too pessimistic on the next few years, because the real deal, the real business volume actually comes on the third year, because that's where people start to trust you. So how do we survive the first 2 years is very crucial. I would come back to the word resilience and also patience. Most important will be, what's that thing? You have to be realistic as well. So a lot of times people want instant gratification, I want to make money now. But the point is, nobody trusts you now. So nobody will pay you now. So the idea is to actually tone down your desires and keep dealing values, stay humble and stay true to yourself. Because once you start to get cocky, that's where the market starts to punish you, like seriously. Like I would say that there were times where in my business where, when it goes up, so we start to lose grip of the ground, start to, how do I say it? I don't know how to say it. So that's where...
You mean in terms of no longer in reality?
Yes. Especially there's a time where after COVID time, they are printing a lot of money. So basically a lot of people just sit at home and then still printing money and making a lot of money. So it doesn't make sense. Yeah. So that time a lot of people, it's a fake illusion that success is everywhere. No, you just have to do minimal effort and everyone can make money. But that was actually a massive bubble. And then when rally crashed in 2022 roughly, then oh my goodness, it was a serious sea of blood. Yeah. So ultimately, those who survive are people who keep their expenses to the minimal. They don't buy cars that they cannot afford. They don't buy a house. They are very, not use pessimists, but very realistic with their spending, very practical. Then they are able to survive. Because at the end of the day, I think everyone gets at least 3 times of the chance to succeed in their life. But how they maintain those chances matter.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question before we go back to Darren, right?
Yeah.
During your time in business, have you ever thought about just giving it up because the challenges are just too great for you to overcome?
I'll say that it's always all the time. Yeah, but then again, this is like some, there's a Chinese saying, 来都来了.
Come lah.
I mean, especially when I was younger, that it's always in my head, why is it so difficult? But then again, it's like going to the gym. The first few sessions is difficult, but after that it becomes a habit. So you stop questioning about whether you want to do or not. You only talk about how do we solve the problems in front of us. So it's not about giving up anymore, because at the end of the day, working and in entrepreneurship is just like breathing, eating, sleeping. So you have to do it anyhow anyway. There's no another thing there's no alternative. So the only option is moving forward. That's all. Yeah.
Just do it lah.
Yes.
Okay. Now when we are going for a short break, and we come back from the break, we are going to ask Darren in terms of how the techniques, in terms of how we can overcome all these challenges and build on the resilience that the entrepreneur will need to have to be able to succeed in the world of entrepreneurship. Be right back.
Hello guys, welcome back again. So where were we?
Yes, we are going to talk about how to build resilience and then to overcome all these challenges so that entrepreneurs can become successful in the kind of business that they are doing, right? So that's why, Darren, we will need to tap into your experience.
Okay. So your question is, how do we overcome the challenges?
Yes,
right?
overcome challenges and build resilience along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, if let's say we want to build a resilience, right? So of course, resilience is a muscle, right? So we need to build it like every time. We need to go with the experience that we have, right? So that is how we're able to build the resilience. So actually, resilience. Recently, I read this book by the book with the title of Grit, right? By this Dr. Angela Duckworth, right? So interesting point. He mentioned this thing, right? Or she mentioned this thing, right? Is that the grit, right? The book called The Grit. So resilience come in two things, in most modern thing, which is first is your perseverance, right? And then the second one is your passion, right? So first means, right, do you have passion of what you do or not? So that's the first important thing, right? Because passion will keep we started of what we do, right? And second thing is the perseverance, right? So when things doesn't go according to our plan, right? So do we persevere through the situation, right? So how do we react when the things doesn't go based on what we wanted, right? So of course there's a few factors, right? The few factors that based on my experience of dealing with sales leaders, dealing with the entrepreneurs, is that first they always come back to, first of all, what is the belief that they have, the belief to themselves, and also the belief to the business, right?
Whether they believe that their business will succeed or not.
Correct. So the belief, it doesn't only on them, right? So the interesting is this, right? So when I interview some of the leaders, right? Some of the sales leaders, I'm in the insurance industry, right? So when I when I interview the leaders, right? So the belief is not only on themselves, right? So the belief that they have is that not only help themselves, but it help other people. So it go beyond themselves, right? So if let's say a business believe that this business not only help themselves but help other people, right? It can be the business help the staff, help the community. Then this business, these entrepreneurs will likely to go further.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a very interesting point, Leo. Which means that basically they are not just only I am in business, but they are in business to actually help other people to grow. So in that sense, they themselves will grow.
Yep, correct. And that also gives them a purpose of that also gives them a purpose when the things again, right? When let's say now when the things do go bad, lah, right? Then because of the purpose is not only themselves, but the purpose is higher than themselves, right? So they will go even further, right? They will sustain the business. The business will more sustainable, right? And of course, after the passion, then there's come the perseverance, right? The perseverance. So the perseverance is that when the things go bad, right? So how do they behave? So if let's say they react negatively, right, and they give up easily, then of course the business won't sustain for a long time, right? But if let's say again, right, they behave positively, right? The mindset is that they know they bounce back when the things do not go according to their way, right? Then of course the business will go further, right? So I'll give you an example. I know one leaders, right? That when I asked him, right, so he's very long time in the business already, right? So when I asked him, so what keeps you moving, right? Because at your age, right, at the leader age, right, basically you can retire, right? Okay, but for him is that okay. So first, for him, the money that he made is not for himself, right? The purpose that he had is that the money he have, he want to donate, right? So now the business he have, right, the money he have, he said most of the money he donate, right? Donate to the NGO, donates to the charity, correct? Donate to charity, right? And secondly, right, he said if I'm sitting at home, right, I do nothing, right? So the work is a passion, right? His passion is the business in the insurance, and his passion is to groom a new generation, right? Yeah. So that is his passion. So he do a lot of free
Charity work, you mean?
charity work.
Yeah.
He do a lot of free sharing, to other agencies. So even with other agency, which is not his group, he also willingly to go and help the person, help the agent from other agency, right? So in fact, there's other agent who come not from his group, right? So coming into the central, coming into Klang Valley, he's happily like just adopt this person and to train this person, even though the person doing well, he doesn't earn anything. Yeah, so that is his passion. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting
Yeah.
point. Now, talking about that, right? Leo, just to look at your business, yeah. Now, your business has a very good purpose where you want to help people to gain health, right? Gain
Correct.
health and be healthy. However, looking at the numbers, just how many people who join and they continue in the business?
I would say that we need to have a definition of what is the meaning of continue. So I would say that in the direct selling industry, out of 10%, usually 9% will just drop off, especially in a full-time business, because it's a very, I would say, it's a zero-sum game, especially in sales when there's no, what do you call that, the basic salary. So people fall off easily, because going full-time in selling is not an easy thing, especially without a commission. So most people who actually succeed are people who actually do it part-time, because they started as a very humble sharing. Then because the things really work, so it's a combination of, yes, you put efforts to go to the market, at the same time the thing they're selling is really working, then only the thing can sustain. Because at the end of the day, endless selling, if you're selling something that people don't need, it will be a uphill battle. So I'll put it this way: this is actually a collective effort between the leaders and also the marketers and also the company. Because if one person is not putting enough efforts, then the whole gravy train just stops. Yeah. So I can't really say that how many people actually fail. I'll say that the percentage of retention here in Yes Global is extremely high, because we have more than 10 products in 2 years, and basically, as long as you're human, we definitely touch one or two desires and needs that you have about your body. So this thing can still go on. Yeah. So this is the fundamental of the business. It comes back to the product, whether or not people need your product. If people need your product, you're not selling. It's just that, okay, have you heard about this company? This product is good. That's it. Yeah. So it becomes very easy. Yeah. The difficult part is when you're selling something that people don't need. It's like, I don't know. I name a lot of people who call me and then I just hang off their phone. So yeah, that will become difficult.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Good. Thank you. And we are going to go for a short break, and then when we come back, we'll continue on this very, very interesting topic on resilience.
Hey guys, welcome back again. So we were talking about the perseverance.
Yes, correct. Now, just now, before we went for a break, Leo brought up a very interesting point, that he said that 9 out of 10 people will drop out, which means that they will not continue with the business. And I do understand also that in the financial services, insurance, and the investment business also, I would say that the statistic is pretty similar, right? Now, how can you, what are the things that you can, what are tips that you can give us in order to be able, for those entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs, that they can actually last beyond 2 years?
Okay, that's a very good question. So I think it depends on the industry, right? But like just now mentioned but Leo mentioned right earlier, is that like 9 out of 10, right, will fail, right? Will fail within 2 years, right? And then maybe that only 10% will basically last more than 2 years, right? So in the financial industry, actually, it's because we come to insurance, right? In the insurance, is very agency based, right? So now, if let's say I want to, based on my experience of interviewing and coaching some of the sales leaders earlier, right? So one thing, right? It is important first, right, to get a good mentor. That's what I learned when coming to insurance industry, right? So getting a good mentor is very important. So meaning a person who they're able to guide you, right? To able to guide you through the path of the business, right, in the insurance business, right? Now, secondly, the most important is, do expect a failure. Do expect that, right? Because in the business, there is no bed of roses, right? Okay, so do expect challenges upfront. That's very important, right? So when the failure come, right, the next one, learn from it, right? So take it as a learning point, right? So that is where the good mentor coming in, right? Because when there's a failure, then you can always go back to the mentor, right? So how to select a good mentor? Then that one, you leave it up to the respective person, right? Because selecting a mentor we need to look at the charisma, what is the role model they're looking at, right? Now, again, when we meet the failure, right? So take it as a learning point, and then go back to the mentor, and the mentor able to guide you, right? And the third one, right, there's something more unconventional, right, that I would suggest is this, right? Always always look at the failure case, not at the success case,
You
right?
mean learn from failure?
Learn from failure, and then when we go and when before we want to go into the business, right? So always look at what is the failure rate, right? Not the success rate. Because, right, from the failure rate, that is where we learn, okay, what not to do before go into the business, right? So there's a lot of way for us to know that, I mean, to learn from the failure rate, right? Again, right, get a mentor, join, if let's say you want to go into this particular business, right? It is always good to join the networking group on that particular industry first, right? Okay, get more information, right? So when we ask a question, we can ask, example, what is the challenges for me, okay, when I go into the business, right? Not go to there and ask, okay, what is the success rate? Because if we read the book, if we go to the podcast or any YouTube video we go, right, they always go for the success story.
Stories,
But success story is not something that you able to learn more about it, right? Okay, so what we can learn more is the failure rate, the challenges, the roadblock that we will face, right? So that is where we can get the most insight, so that when we go into the business, we are able to maneuver, okay, and not to repeat that mistake faced by the other entrepreneur. Yeah. So that is based on my take now. When I go and ask around, based on my experience of do a coaching to this my most of my coaching is in the insurance, right? Some in the SME, right? So when I talk to them, so that is an insight that I get. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
interesting. Now, Leo, coming to you. Darren mentioned three very interesting points. Number one is get a mentor, then expect failures, and also look at failure rate. So, how does that apply in your business?
Well, I think this is basically very similar as well, because the business of selling is actually a monkey see, monkey do business, I would say. And I wouldn't say it's a rocket science. I wouldn't say it's difficult. I wouldn't say it is actually easy as well. So it boils back to who you actually learn from, because a good coach, I would say, like for example, there are many sales guru like Anthony Robbins or Robert Kiyosaki. So you can get a lot of insights on how they actually, what's the word? Is it not preach? Is it approach people? I would say, sell themselves, they sell their products, and then it gives us a lot of techniques to do. Because at the end of the day, what we say in the last podcast, selling is actually a system. It's a system of many small steps. So we need to go back to and someone needs to tell you that, okay, assess you in a objective manner. Like for example, what have you done? Is it right or is it wrong? What to improve? Whether it's verbal or whether or not it's the communication, the facial expression, or how you groom, how you look like, or just anything, or maybe a preparation work is not enough. So all these are very important. Then not just that, it also comes back to your own mental state as well, because at the end of the day, a lot of people fail not because that the challenges are big, more like they fail because of their own issues. Because the problem they face are maybe a small part of the problem, but because of the mental state that they undergo, some people, especially the younger generations, they are extremely, we call that snowflakes generation. Yeah.
Some may call it strawberry.
Yeah. Yeah. Why strawberry? Because it spoils easily. Yeah. So they, whenever they face a little bit of, they even call it a challenge. Some people may give them a comment, but they get very offended by it. But it's just a comment. It may not mean, it's not even offensive, even let's say to me. I take every single comment as a objective manner, because I would try to understand where they are coming from. Because back when I was younger, the kind of comments that I received is very harsh. So I learn to actually filter those words, even though they are expressed in a very bad way, in a very bad manner, but I learn to listen just on the objective side. Yeah. Then even today, when we tell, let's just put it this way, even in the workplace, but even we tell them that we will be joking. Like say for example, sometimes we'll be saying that, hey, you two of you, are you guys together? This is a very simple comment, but they will call it as a 职场霸凌. Can you imagine that? It's just a general joke between a few colleagues saying that maybe you two like each other, but they call this as a bully. So I think the values of people have been changing, but this is where the evolution comes in. When people evolve, we have to adapt because it doesn't mean that we have to stick to our own. We can't say that we are right, we are wrong, because at the end of the day, if I really want those younger generation to perform, I have to speak their language and understand their cues and actually change myself. Because at the end of the day, see, notice how I say it. Although I disagree, I feel that they are snowflake. But at the same time, I have to acknowledge that they are snowflake because this is constant. But is something that we can change is myself. I change myself, the way I speak, to suit them so that I can be able to communicate with them. So it comes back to flexibility. Once you set yourself that, okay, I am ready for this is the thing, then the only questions left to ask is, how do I get it done? What is my problem? Okay, what are the solutions that I have in my table? Then what are the best options out of this all? The least the least risk but the most outcome, then we choose it. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So basically, to conclude our discussion for this episode, I have got a few pointers, which are very interesting pointers from the both of you. Number one is get a good mentor, right?
Yes.
On Darren, you have mentioned, and expect failures. Yeah, because if we don't expect failures, then we cannot. Then when failure do come, then it'll be like we do not know how to handle, right? Then always look at failure rate. And on your side, I managed to get two interesting points. Number one is the mental state. Yeah, how is your mental state? Whether you are prepared for it or not, and change yourself.
Yes.
So these are the few tips and pointers that I managed to get. And with that, we have come to the conclusion of this episode. And thank you for our guest, Darren. Yeah, we will see you soon. Yeah, because we also like to know, for those of them who have been in business for quite some time, they are still facing challenges, right?
Yep,
And
correct.
let's see how we can help those who have been in the business for quite a number of years.
Okay. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Phang, for inviting me today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So guys, if you have any questions, please check in the comment box. Okay, we are happy to actually answer all of them. And please click this like and subscribe button. That will give us a motivation to even produce more contents that will help more people. And see you in the next episode.